This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Go. How you doing, Alex?
Hi, Orlando. How are you? Good morning.
Very good. I was kind of your agent. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, yeah, I did. I do like Manny's writing and The Athletic. They do a lot of good work. So, I don't know. Thanks for the shout
Athletic.
out.
Hire her. Hire her. She knows her stuff. Come on.
Thanks.
So how you doing? You doing all right?
Yeah, busy. It's been a busy last 2 weeks for us InterMiami beat writers. So the last couple of days I've just been chilling out and waiting to go again next week when Miami have another game.
Yeah. And by the way, you can catch her work at Bleacher Report, 90 Minutes US, the Heron Outlet. Subscribe. They do a great job on the podcast, talking InterMiami and breaking down a lot of the stuff that goes on because, Alex, one of the things before we get into the obvious stuff with Messi and all of that, the one thing that I think a lot of you guys are doing for us and for myself is educating us because the rules in the MLS are so convoluted and confusing, and there's these kind of players and this kind of player and this kind of player, and like I'm reading up on the U22 initiatives, and then we have the DPs, and then we have all kinds of different titles, and these are things that we're kind of learning about and how you build an MLS team. And then they just had some meetings too. What's come out of those meetings on how they're going to try to maybe open up rosters even more so there's more flexibility? What have you heard?
Yeah, so The Athletic reported Jorge Mas and a couple of the other MLS owners. They had a meeting and discussed, where to take the roster rules heading forward. And Jorge Mas is a strong advocate of expanding the rules and trying to push the limits really. And, basically some of the quotes coming out of there are some owners want the cap rules to be a little bit simplified and others are comfortable where they are. I think you can guess where InterMiami stands on that. They obviously want to push the boundaries a little bit. But, I think with Messi coming into the league, you see other teams now saying, hey, we want our own Messis to come in. I'm sure there are plenty of European stars who are interested in coming to MLS. And the current roster rules, it's not, yes, they can sign them under DPs, but, they want the roster to be equally as good to support these world-class players. So, that meeting was super interesting. And next season, hopefully willing, we should be able to see some movement and changes regarding that.
So talk to me about Facundo Farias and also Diego Gomez. Tell me what you know about those guys. And then Thomas Aviles is another one that's been mentioned as that third spot for the U22 initiative. What do you know about some of these players that are being added or possibly added?
Yeah, I'll start with Farias. Yeah, he's going to be a super flexible player for InterMiami, U22 initiative player, which basically means, they're DP level type talent, but due to MLS mechanisms, Miami can sign 3 U22 players that otherwise would have been DPs in previous seasons. So with Facundo Farias, he's a winger, more so of an attacking midfielder, can play centrally. And, he's an extraordinarily direct dribbler. He's coming off an ACL injury, but he's gone, he's played a couple of games, a full 90 minutes. So hopefully, that is past him. But yeah, it's super talented young player, direct, a winger, an attacking midfielder, someone that, would complement Messi well, playing as funny enough. He's an attacking midfielder, but he will complement Messi well, who has taken up that right wing spot and decides to cut in. So Farias would slip in as one of the 2 central midfielders alongside Busquets. Diego Gomez, I actually ran into him and a couple of other players coming up the elevator to the press box the other night. And yeah, super tall. And I'm tall myself. I'm like 5'10", so he's taller than me. So he's a tall player.
Yeah, you're 5'10"?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am tall. Yeah, I'm tall. But
wow, because I haven't seen you in person yet. You and I have just talked like this, and I didn't realize you were that tall. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know where I got it from. Both my parents are shorter than I am, but but Diego Gomez, he's a tall guy. He's a box to box midfielder. He likes to make that third run into the box when whoever the ball carrier is. He's basically a guy who's gonna run for Busquets basically, and I'm super excited about him because for a long time Miami's midfield Yeah, if you recall, it was looking pretty dire with the injuries to Jean Mata and Gregory. So Diego Gomez now in, you're going to have an energetic, young box-to-box midfielder that will help out Busquets alongside Facundo Farias and do that running for him. And the last player who's not quite confirmed, but it's looking that way. Thomas Aviles from Racing in Argentina, a tall, lanky center back. With the unfortunate injury to Ian Frey, now I think Miami pushed to get that Aviles deal done, and it's
Did
looking
his dad, did his dad play in the MLS?
Ian Frey?
No, Avilas.
I don't recall. I don't think
I
so.
remember an Avilas in the MLS, and I'm
Yeah.
wondering if it's related. You know what I mean? Since
Mm,
and this Avilas was several years ago, where it was more of a retirement league in those days, actually,
mm,
than it's lesser of a retirement league now. That's what I got to say that you know, following the MLS from its early days till now, and you notice it, I'll notice it, other people notice it. The average American doesn't notice it because some people will tell you it's still a retirement league, and really it's not. They've actually done a marvelous job of finding younger talent now than they did 10 and 20 years ago when they were, in earlier stages in this league.
Yeah, and you see it now with Miami bringing in these younger players to complement the Jordi Albas and the Messis and the Busquets. You need the younger players to play alongside these guys if they do want to continually to be successful. We've already seen a glimpse of that with Ben Hakramaski playing alongside Busquets, even heck a Robert Taylor, who's only 27, 28, playing on the field with Messi. He can do the running for them. So with these three U22 players coming in, I think that will be the real needle that will help continue to help Miami stay where they want to be. And some of these guys are coming into the team on 5-year contracts. So it's not just a 3-year thing, just to help out Messi. These are guys that will be here even past the Messi, Busquets, and Alba. They will be the foundation for when Miami move into Miami Freedom Park and after that. So I think it's a good deals from the front office to see that and to set the foundation for the future after Messi and Busquets and Alba are gone.
The fun part about all of this, Alex, is this team over the next 2 months that are left. It's going to be exciting because they're just going to get better and better and better because right now what you saw the other night is just like a taste.
Mm,
Everybody's not in shape. Everybody's not in sync. Everybody hasn't played together for a few matches, things like that. And we saw some pretty decent chemistry, the other night. And I think the other thing, besides watching them get better and better, the confidence is just going to swell too.
mm.
For all the young guys, being around. It's like the little brother that got his butt kicked, but now he goes back to school and he's taking his big brother with him. And so all of a sudden he feels a little more confident going up to get his revenge because big brother's with him. And big brother obviously is Messi and Busquets and company.
Yeah, and you see that confidence and with all the players, Miami were, they were such a punching bag for so long due to, several things off the field and on the field, mainly, just the sanctions really, and that handicapped their roster building ability. So, the rosters of, the last 2 years haven't been up to par, but there's still some talent that came in. Robert Taylor, like I mentioned earlier, obviously Yedlin, Kamal Miller, Kristoff there, John Mata, Gregory. But there's still talent on the roster. But now you see with Messi, Busquets, and Alba, you see everyone raising their level now, and your starting 11 spot is now not guaranteed unless you're Busquets, Messi, or Jordi Alba. So a lot of these guys are going to have to raise their level if they want to see playing time. And I'll point out Robert Taylor. He's one of the players that's going to benefit the most. Yeah, he's one of the players that will benefit the most from Messi coming here, and you already see it with the 2 goals and assists he had on what was it?
And Alex,
Tuesday.
you and I are hardcore. He flashed before Messi. He was one of the few guys that even it was a terrible season, you said, "Hey, dude, there's something there with that Robert Taylor guy. He just didn't have enough around him so he can show himself out." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now that he's got all this around him, now you're getting to see better, the best of Robert Taylor. Let me run something by you.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you're hardcore like I am. I want to congratulate Inter Miami, Chris Henderson, the Moss brothers. They learned their lesson, and tell me if I'm right or wrong here on this, for congratulating them, and did they learn their lesson? What did they do a few years ago before they even hired their coach? They started building a team without a coach. And then when they got GQ in the building, GQ all of a sudden looked around and said, I don't like this guy. This guy doesn't fit. This guy. And then they ended up having to get rid of people that they just acquired. And it was a disaster. This time around, notice that they waited till they had Tata in. Even at the beginning of the year with Neville, they didn't go all in. They didn't. They left a lot of things open. They even traded Bryce and Lassiter, and that was your depth that was really helping you. And you traded some guys that could really help you at that moment. You left everything open. The second you got Tata, all of a sudden, you started seeing names come in from DPs to the U22, all this stuff. They learned their lesson, didn't they? They waited till they had their coach so the coach could say, this is who I want. That's not who I want. I like him. I don't like him. Correct?
Yeah, and I was mentioning that on my Twitter page the other day. I was responding to someone about how was Miami able to pull all these players, and yes, Messi, but Tata Martino is a very respected coach in South America and in parts of the world. So it's no surprise that a lot of these young players want to come and play under him, obviously alongside Messi, Busquets, and Alba. But Tata Martino has a lot of pull, and like you said, Orlando, about even before that, remember when they were building the roster with without a coach, and Diego Alonso came in super late and it didn't work, and then Phil Neville came in kind of to right the ship, and he did a good for a period of time, but as his tenure ended, obviously those results started to drop. But now with Tata Martino, they took their time with the coaching search, but it was pretty plain and clear that they were going to go after Tata Martino. He has MLS experience. He's coached Messi and Busquets before, and he's also coached Joseph Martinez when he was at Atlanta as well, where they won an MLS Cup and all these trophies. So it was just a natural choice for them. And plus, he's a respected coach. He's an older coach with a lot more experience compared to a Diego Alonso or a Phil Neville. And that's what Miami needs during this new era for them. They need someone with experience. You need someone who's going to let Messi play freely and not really handicap him. And I think Tata Martino understands that. And you see the players flocking to him to come play under him and alongside Messi.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's really amazing. Were you amazed that he played 77 minutes the other night? Now, one of the things that I noticed, and you were probably obviously there at the pitch watching it, he doesn't really run for a crazy 77 minutes. It's very deliberate. It's very, it's very Pibe Valderrama when he was here with the Fusion. He didn't have to move a ton. He made quick decisions, made the right. Now, he was a midfielder, so his thing was more being a point guard for those of you that don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So he was more about passing and all of that. But Messi is very strategic the way he uses his energy, in other words.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see actually in person. He just scans the field and it's like he's watching the game while simultaneously playing in it. And yeah, it's impressive. And you see it with the goals. He just kind of meanders around until he finds an opening, and then he scores. And that's a talent as well, just finding those openings and being smart with your movement. And it's really, really cool to see in person. So I think Miami, they were missing that desperately, even before Messi came, and now they have a true creator and number 10 that can do that alongside Busquets, who I think has been such a huge impact in the midfield. His calmness and
notice how much they're loading up on the midfield too with the U22s, because as you know, that's been a real issue all the way back from the first year. That hell, your creator was on the left side, or right side. Was it? Did they use him on the left side or the right side? I forgot.
Messi on the right side.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the first year of Inter, when we had what's the name of the kid that was terrific? And we didn't have a midfielder. He was setting us up from the outside. What's his name? Damn it.
Who? Pozuelo or someone else?
No. It was the English. It was like
Lewis Morgan. Yeah.
Morgan. Exactly. Remember when the creator was on the outside. And notice how they've been loading up in the middle, and obviously with Busquets, who's also a fabulous passer, that they are figuring that problem out quickly here we need creators, and we've got finishers. Let's get some creators now. So they're doing
Mhm.
that. I
Yeah,
like
and
that.
it's really cool to see, honestly, with Joseph now, he's not scoring goals yet, but he's doing these dummy runs and absorbing defenders to take away the pressure from Messi, which is silly from the opposition. Why don't you track Messi? But Joseph, he's dangerous in his own right, and his presence in the box, defenders are wary of that, and sometimes though they're so focused on Joseph that they don't see Messi in behind them, and that's how Messi scored his second goal. So like you said, Orlando, I think the more the team starts to gel, I think that they'll get more comfortable. And oh yeah, this attack is going to look so fluid. And Inter Miami fans deserve this after all they went through. I think
Amen.
they deserve what they're seeing on the field now.
Amen. Amen. Where are we with Gregory?
Oh, actually, yeah, him and John Mata. I was at training like a week and a half ago, and John Mata was running, so he looked good, and he's dribbling and doing stuff, and Gregory as well. They're both doing ball work, so I think they're. I don't want to say they're close to returning, but they are. I think they will return before the season's done. I don't know
And I want Gregory
when, but
badly.
yeah,
Gregory
they look good.
badly.
Yeah,
God, that would be
yeah,
huge down
yeah.
the stretch. Down. Oh man. So who wins between Orlando and Santos
That's a
tomorrow?
good question. I think for the narrative as a writer, I want Orlando to win. So they play Miami in that next round.
Yeah,
But I don't know if you saw the mural being vandalized really
I
by
saw
purple
it.
paint. I don't know. No one's claimed responsibility, and people are accusing Orlando fans, but I haven't heard anything concrete about who actually did it. But that just add fuel onto the rivalry, and it would be interesting to see them match up in a tournament like this now. So yeah, I'm rooting for Orlando, but Santos is still a good side, and Emerson, who is an Inter Miami player who is on loan, he's on loan at Santos. So if Santos does win, it'll be a reunion for Emerson and Inter Miami. So either way, I think I will be there covering the game regardless.
If last time I checked, I haven't kept up with it in the last couple of days. The MLS is leading in the matchup straight up, right?
Yeah, a lot of them were, taking it to the Mexican sides, and I'm not really shocked. It's MLS has been growing, and besides, the top Mexican sides like Club America, Monterrey, Chivas, some of these mid-table Mexican teams, they're getting beat by MLS sides, and that's really good to see because, I think the goal for MLS is to be the best league in North America, and
Sure.
and I think they're kind of on their way to doing that, and if an MLS team wins a Leagues Cup, I think that they're definitely on their way, and that's going to be a big step towards that.
Oh, man, I'm hoping we win the Leagues Cup and the US Open Cup because
Mm,
it's going to be so hard to make the playoffs. I know they're going to need one hell of a run, and maybe they can do it. I mean, they've got enough talent. You never know. It's a lot to ask, but winning those cups would be awesome as a foundation going into next season. God,
yeah,
I,
especially
I, I can't
the
wait
U.S.
for
Open
next year,
Cup. If
Alex.
they win the U.S. Open Cup, they'll get into the Champions League, and that'll be yeah huge for them.
That'll be awesome if
Yeah,
they're able to do that. I mean, Alex, the thrill now for next year because this is just a taste. Wait till they have an entire off season and then they make more acquisitions
yep.
and change things up because those guys are going to spend. This is going to be a lot of fun, dude. This is going to be a ton of fun to watch what's going on here. All right, so what do you got going on? So folks can check you out at the Bleacher Report or at 90 Minutes US or at the Heron Outlet.
Yeah, so a lot of things going on. I'm covering bits of the Women's World Cup for Bleacher Report, the U.S. Women's National Team, and select.
Wasn't impressed with the Netherlands game.
Yeah,
God, that was not a good game. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's another. We can go another 30 minutes
I
about
know,
that, but
I know,
uh,
I know.
yeah, Vlatko Andonovski. Yeah, he needs to get it together. The U.S. have the talent to be able to crush teams, but right now they're just not playing as a cohesive unit. But yeah, I'm covering the parts of the Women's World Cup for a Bleacher Report, the Heron Outlet. Obviously, I'm back to doing tactical breakdowns now that the team's playing well, and it's been a joy. And I've been covering that for the Heron Outlet. We have our podcast as well, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, the Heron Outlet, Bleacher Report, and yeah, we're just chilling over there.
And make sure you follow her on Twitter. She's a must follow. She gives you great information, great insight on the team. AAW_1998 on Twitter. She is Alex Windley. Alex, is always a pleasure. Thank you for the terrific insight. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having me on, Orlando. Had a blast.
My pleasure. There you go. Alex Windley coming through for us. AAW_1998. She's 5'10", bro. She's 5'10".
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.